here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we have to talk about this American dream or American nightmare. What are you living? But you do realize you can create your dream at any time that you want to come true. It's in your hands. And sure, we have a lot of obstacles, but that doesn't stop anybody who's just showing up on the shores of America. Neither should it stop you. Let's talk tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think, and welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Stop struggling now. Gear, check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, please share the videos. Why? Because you never know who's looking for information, and you never know who's living in a dream state right now, not realizing how bad it really is when you're trying to create your American dream. Yes, it's a lot harder, some people would say, and some would say it's a lot easier. It all depends on your skill set. It all depends on what your economic situation is. It matters greatly. And again, I will reiterate, there are people who get on boats, who walk 1,000 miles just so they can cross the border and come into America, or just land on the beaches of America just so that they can actually have an opportunity to move up. Let's talk about this tonight. This is very special, especially when we have a July 4th Independence Day coming up. And once again, independent for who? Well, that's another story for another day. But tonight, I dropped a link down below in the chat room. Everybody who's here in the chat room, please, 15% off Beachfront Java. You can go to Beachfront Java, but use the link in the chat room. If you see this on replay, see it on podcast, or hear it on podcast, just remember, you need the link to come to the YouTube channel page, and in the chat room, that link gets you 15% off. There is no promo code. When you check out, 15% off whole beans, coffee, 1 pound bags, 5 pound bags, and in between Keurig as well. Fine ground coffee for that espresso, and drip ground as well. So those are on tap starting at $19.95, 15% off, and free shipping for everybody into the United States. You have to live in the U.S., contiguous U.S. states, that's the lower 48, and you have free shipping. Everybody else, you're going to have to pay a little bit of shipping, but get your 15% off. In fact, this could be the last day you get your 15% off. And you know who owns this company along with their family is our own Professor Auntie Val. So show some love, ladies and gentlemen. And she has merchandise as well. And there's more to come. End of the year, she already let the cat out the bag. Tea's coming as well. So if you don't drink coffee, you got to keep the link, and you have to order something. Remember, there's going to be 10% off permanently for SSN Nation members after today. All right, this is very, very special. Go show some love. American Dream, she created it along with her family. This is what we're talking about here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's a dream if you're actually trying to make your dream come true. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That is how America was built. Now, let's get on with it. Professor is here. Auntie Val is in the house. The professor with the icon next to her name. And that means she's a member of the channel, ladies and gentlemen. And she brings her tagline this evening. Good evening, fam. Good evening to you too. With the heart, with the strength and the support. and her cup of Java right next to her, along with you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, little families here, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And hello to you too. Thank you again for being in the house. Little fam says, it's a nightmare if you're broke. Hey, that's one start of the stream. That's how we got to talk about it tonight, because it is based on economic status. Economic status is one way to keep the dream an American nightmare. Or education, holding down someone from educational opportunities, can turn your American dream into an American nightmare. But guess what? Neither one of those is a reason to allow the American nightmare to continue. You can change it into an American dream, because thank goodness there's a thing called the internet. Thank goodness there's a thing called a library. Nobody can stop you in reality from your dream, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be a little motivational on Independence Day week, because Independence Day means just that. You can be independent. You can do it yourself. You're always going to need a little bit of help, but nonetheless, nobody ultimately can stop you. They can put up booby traps. They can put up obstacles. They can ingrain it in the Constitution, but that still doesn't mean I can't go out here and still do something. Nobody's stopping you from getting an LLC. Nobody's stopping you from not getting an LLC and running videos on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and getting paid YouTube videos. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody. You can get monetized. You can sell products. There's all different kind of ways you can make your American dream happen. But for a lot of people, you get mired in the American nightmare. And it all starts at an early age. You have to believe in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And like Little Family has said, if you don't have money coming in, that is one problem no matter where you live in the world. If you don't have the money, the economic means, it's going to be a nightmare. You don't have representation. They represent people with money. And speaking of representing people with money, this is exactly what I have to start this off with, thanks to Little Fam. Let me show you guys something. This is scary, ladies and gentlemen. Victor Marrero is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He too has the icon next to his name, and he brings his tagline. Hello, all. Let's do this. Yes, and he's doing it, ladies and gentlemen. He's about to retire, a second retirement. He's about to go on his second or third American Dream Tour. It's about to go down this year, hopefully at the end of this year. And in fact, a matter of a mere few months, he's going to be traveling the world, living the American dream. But how much work did he put in? A lifetime, ladies and gentlemen. And what's a lifetime? Is it 25 years? Is it 30 years? Is it 40? Most of the time, it's somewhere between 30 and 45 years that you put in a lifetime of work, and then you reap what you have sowed. So congratulations, Victor Marrero. It's only a matter of a few months. You're about to be on that American dream plane all over the world. And he put in the work, ladies and gentlemen. That's the American dream that he chose. He created his dreams, and he did the right thing. Now, Vic Laverne Penix is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has the icon next to his name. And once again, Laverne Penix is known as Mr. Cool in this YouTube street, and he is here. Thank you so much once again for being here. And he says his tagline this evening: hello, SSN Nation. I hope everyone is doing well. I received a notification and trailer. That's right. One person has said they received a notification and trailer. Thank you so much, Mr. Cool, for that. Let us know who else has seen this on this Independence Day weekend. And sometimes you have to be independent when you are creating your dreams. Blade Ascona's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline: good evening, familia. Good evening, familia. E2. And I got the notification and trailer. He says, thank you so much again for being here in the live stream, in the SSN Nation. And John Way J, the newest member of the channel, is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Now he has the icon next to his name, and he's making his American dream a reality by making investments, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I got to talk about it. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry with pre-construction purchasing. It doesn't matter where the pre-construction is. It can be in America. It can be outside of America. But the dream is alive. Nobody's stopping you, but you can't be broke. That's the kicker. All right. He brings his tagline. Hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Received a notification and trailer. That's 3 people tonight so far, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know who else has seen the trailer and who received the notification from YouTube. That would be greatly appreciated. Everybody watching around the world, I want to thank you so much, but don't forget to smash that like button. And don't forget to tell people to come on down. We got a little motivation tonight for you, because look at this. Again, this statistic I'm about to show you right now. Remember when I used to say the top 10% just a few years ago owned 70% of the wealth in America? Ladies and gentlemen, you can only imagine what happened after they added about another 20% year over year for 2 years in a row to the housing market. The price went up 20%. Like I've been telling you, the rich people have an advantage, because that 20%, if you have 20% of $1 million, that's 200,000. You have 20% of $100,000, that's only 20,000. $200,000 worth of purchasing power versus 20,000. And then you start doing it, instead of it being 1 million, think about if it's 100 million. Now 20% is 20 million. And if you only had 1 million, then all you have is 200,000. You think you're going to be able to buy more assets than the guys that just blatantly got $20 million worth of equity value? They'll be able to borrow 2, 3, 5 million. Meanwhile, you're 200,000. You're not going to be able to buy a lot of assets with that. Those guys are. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Like I've been telling you for the last 3, 4 years, this is what's been going down, and you can keep ignoring it. But this is one of the playbooks that we've been talking about for 5 years now, ladies and gentlemen. Buy assets that pay you. Those assets increase in value over time, because you want to live the American dream. You don't want to be in the American nightmare. And look here on the screen. Can you see this? 1950s. I'm going to go to this first, then I'm going to go to something else. But I want to set this up properly. 1940, there was a war, as World War II. And then after that war, let me show you, let me see if they even have it here. 1940s, 1950s. They don't have it here, but we'll go to the 50s. All right. In the 50s, American dream. This is when the propaganda began. There was no such thing as the American dream before then, because remember, 1930s, there was a Great Depression. Remember, people were coming over from being persecuted in Europe, and they were like fleeing to America. And then when they got to America, they're being persecuted here because, you know, you're separated by what country you're from. And so the American dream after the war, with all the factories and everything, heavily focused on materialism and the fixed ideas for men and women. Every family needed their cars, radios, and television sets. Men were supposed to work. Why does it say men were supposed to work? Because back then, child labor laws were out of whack. Women were supposed to stay at home. Men could afford to go out and be a one-person household worker and still be able to afford the house, the car, the groceries, and maintenance and upkeep of everything, because inflation was low. Amount that it cost to live was a lot lower. So one person is all it took. Men were supposed to work while women stayed and took care of the house. Today, the American dream is very much about wealth, freedom, and equality. Well, there's been a reversal on this equality situation and freedom and wealth if you keep this Supreme Court intact, because it's about to go down even worse, ladies and gentlemen, because you do not want to be a part of this situation. Now, here, I'm going to pull this up because this is the number that you guys need to see right now. Look at what's happened in the last 3-4 years. Look at this. The top 10% of households now own 76% of all the wealth in the United States. The top 10%. While the bottom 50% of households own just, ladies and gentlemen, look at this, 1% of all wealth. Now do you see why I started this channel? This is why I started this channel. Because people are working their behinds off, living their so-called American dream, not realizing how far down the totem pole they're dropping simply because some people have a greater advantage than you, or some people are working harder than you. Both can be true at the same time. So here you go, right here, black and white, top 10% own 3/4 of the wealth. And 50%, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the numbers right. There's 350 million Americans, let's say, right? 50% is 175 million. Right? 10% is 35 million. 35 million people have 76% times the wealth that the bottom 187 have. You don't see a problem with this yet? Because your American dream is going to be dependent upon if you recognize the situation at hand and don't fall asleep at the wheel. Because what do you think is going to happen after this next bull run? This number, they're going to be holding over 80%. All right? You guys understand this, right? You understand what I'm trying to say, I hope. Because after this next bull run, when it starts next year, they're going to own 80-some%. Why? Because all it takes is 10%. They control 76%. A simple 10, 20, 30% increase. These guys easily move into owning 80% of the wealth in the United States. Easily. All right? So you have to get your American dream set in stone now by making those asset purchases. Even if it is joining them, you have to join them. You have to buy equities, which is stocks and index funds and things like that. You have to do it. You have to buy real estate, whatever it is, whether it's multifamily, whether it's an office building, whether it's an apartment building. It does not matter. You have to get an asset. If you guys missed the video I dropped earlier, was also about the American dream and the American nightmare, but I wanted to be here with people live stream because I want to hear what you guys think about this. Charles is taking the bull by the horn. He's in the house tonight. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream, and he has the icon next to his name, and he brings his tagline, "Hi, money people." He is the money people. He made the moves under pre-construction rules, no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. And you know what he did? He did a lot of research. He said, I have an American dream. I'm making some money. And you know what? I've been putting my money here, putting my money there, doing whatever he's been doing. All of a sudden, he's going, wait a minute. What is this guy talking about? Pre-construction. What's this guy talking about when he's talking about getting real estate? And what's going on? Well, he purchased real estate, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. There's reasons why, but all I'm going to give you is some numbers. So when he was buying, when Mr. and Mrs. Cool was buying, when Victor Marrero was buying, Jaway Jay's buying, everybody generally has their purchase prices per square foot literally about $150 a square foot and under. All right? What's starting to happen now, $200 to $300 a square foot is starting to be the norm. What do you think is going to happen when the bull run starts? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's going to happen. We're going to find ourselves in a situation where 300 per square foot to 350 to 400 per square foot, depending on your condo or amenities or whatever you're going to have in the villas. That's what's going to happen. So once again, those people who made plans for their American dreams, they're going to win. The ones who are not making any plans for the American dream, you are going to have a very hard time catching up after this next bull run occurs. We don't know how long that bull run's going to be, but I do know this. I want to be in on that bull run. You guys are already set up to be in on that bull run, and it's congratulations. You're not going to be left behind. You've already made those moves. So, anybody have any comments so far? This is a live stream, ladies and gentlemen, and you can make comments. And the only ones that could be on the live stream with me on screen is the guys with the icons, the ladies and gentlemen with the icon, because they're members of the channel, or you can be in the chat room. But again, in case you missed it and just joined us, get your 15% off from Beachfront Java. It's our own Professor Auntie Val, and she has 5-star reviews. Go over there because today is the last day that you're going to be able to get 15% off. So go over there and get it. All right. There's the link. Check out. It automatically populates the 15% off. And everybody who orders with or without the link, you get free shipping in the lower 48 United States. It's free shipping. All right. Now, the Nobody's Coming to Save You, the gear, SSN Nation, members with the icon. You guys should check the community tab. You get 35% off gear right now as well. So if you want to order any gear, now's the time to do it. It expires, I believe, midnight tomorrow. So once again, you have that opportunity as well. So you have a couple of shots at doing this. So let me know. I don't see too many people making the comments on the American Dream or the American Nightmare, but I did see one. I believe it was who sent me that. Oh, wait, what is this? Having trouble connecting. Okay. Let's see here. Who sent me that one that said it's the Nightmare? I don't see it anymore. Oh, it was Little Fam. Here we go. It's a nightmare if you're broke. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot be broke in America anymore. It's very, very hard. They're leaning on taking away social services to protect the elderly or those that have less than. They're taking away even feeding people that don't have any money as well. It's getting crazy. Things out here are crazy. So we're trying to get you for the American dream. How do you start your American dream? Well, down below in the description, we have a few things. You can try to earn some free Bitcoin with CryptoTab. That link's down there. You can also try to get your free stocks from Robinhood and Webull. Those links are always down below the video in the used to be the description box, but it now says show more. That's where you can go and take a look. All of that is available to you. Or you can do what Professor Auntie Val has done, what I have done, what Laverne Penix has done, Jaway J has done, Victor Morel has done. Start your business. And there's Opus Virtual Office. And I just dropped a video a week ago about starting your business, meaning starting an LLC with the state of Florida. Because you don't have to live in the state of Florida, but your business can reside in the state of Florida, or it could your business can be in the state of New Mexico or Texas or Nevada, wherever you want to put it. But the fact of the matter is, Florida gives you a situation where your LLC doesn't pay any corporate tax versus a C corporation in Florida does pay corporate tax. You also don't pay as an individual. If you live there, you wouldn't have to pay state tax. So that's one of the reasons that it's very easy to get an account there for only $125, and you're done in a matter of minutes. You could have already an LLC under your name. So that's how fast this can be. So again, That's how you start your American dream. Nobody said it's going to be easy. All right. One of my the funniest guys ever, that guy, I mentioned him before. A lot of people might have seen infomercials back in the day. His name was Tom Vu, and he used to have that little accent. I came from Vietnam or whatever, and I had no money. I used to crack up when he's telling the story, but he bought real estate though, right? So that's a way out, ladies and gentlemen. And because you don't need any credit, that's the first thing. You don't really need credit to buy real estate. You can go right now to Discount Lots and go check out and peruse land, discountlots.com. They have an Independence Day sale. Maybe you get 10 to 15% off there. You can go there if you can find yourself some acreage or land and they have no credit check, no qualifying. You make monthly payments, but you control the land. Who says you can't build a Garden of Eden? Right? Who says you live off the land or create a business off the land? That's what you have to do, is your due diligence, but you can create your own American dream. Discountlots.com. We've talked about it before. That's a spot you can go to. They have lots all over America, sometimes even in Hawaii, which I wouldn't recommend Hawaii because it's usually on the lava island, the big island. So you don't want to mess around there. But I'm just saying, if you have a reason to purchase the property, even though it could be out in the middle of nowhere, you have to do your due diligence. You have to make sure that you have water, sewer, electrical coming to it or not. Or you can sit there and say, I don't care about water and sewer because I'm just going to turn it into a driving range, a golf range or something. Who cares about water? So all I'm saying is there's different reasons for you to start your American dream. Nobody's stopping you. Sure, there's barriers everywhere. Somebody could say you can't work here because you didn't graduate from college. Another job will say, well, you can't work here because you graduated from college, but you don't have a master's degree. Okay. Now, another job you try and go get, they'll say, well, you know what? You want to be in the financial services business, but you don't even have a series anything license. So you can't even you have to go to school for getting your financial license. So there's little things that you have to do if you want to create your American dream. There's something you're going to have to do. You just can't sit idly by, ladies and gentlemen. You can't really bitch about it either. You actually have to do it. So let's see what you guys have to say about this American dream. A lot of the guys here tonight, they have created their American dream. They didn't sit idly by. They said, okay, this is what I'm going to try and do. And just so everybody knows, the guys here, old timers, you guys have all been here for the last 3, 4, 5 years. You know the situation. Average millionaire has failed 17 times before they became a millionaire. Can you imagine? There's people that only try things once or twice, thinking they're going to try their American dream once or twice, and they fail, and then they give up, and they say, oh, I can't do it. Meanwhile, you have other people who say, you know what, I'm going to try a different situation. Now they tried 10 times and failed, and they still said, I still can't. I'm still going to do this. How about if you failed 15 times and you're sitting there, your friends, your family, loved ones are telling you, see, you failed again. You can't do this. Why do you keep trying? Keep trying, ladies and gentlemen, because the alternative is you're going to be left behind because you're not going to be able to keep up. Just what I showed here, in case you just showed up. You cannot keep up. You can't bury your head in the sand. This number right here should alarm you, because if you don't have assets already in place, this is going to get worse. And what's going to happen if 175 million people only have 1% of the wealth? Those 175 people are going to be fighting over the crumbs against each other. The top 10 percenters, they got their jets. They got their cruise line passes for a year. These guys are like, hey, I can get my plane tickets anytime I want. I live in secure and gated environment. We have armed guards. We have doormen. We have all of this situation. They're not fighting with you. You're going to be fighting against the 1% of the wealth crowd, trying to get the crumbs. We don't want this, ladies and gentlemen, because that's going to be very, very dangerous. That's going to be an American nightmare. So you're going to have to start figuring out which side of this fence are you going to be on. There's nothing wrong being on the 1% side right now, but at least you know what you're working against, and you need to start thinking about, hey, I better start doing something out here and doing it the right way, because America also is the country where they house the most criminals. All right. So keep that in mind, because there's a prison industrial complex. That's one of the other games that's played, because you're out here trying to feed your family, making the American dream, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a legal hassle. Why? Because they get paid thousands of dollars per month for every inmate that's housed. It's a whole nother ecosystem. So it's in the benefit of certain people in the top 10%, by the way, to make sure we have housing for people that broke laws. And you can be held without any bail. You can be held, and people do not even talk about this. That's American nightmare. Being locked up, no charges filed, no nothing, for months, for years. That's right. It happens in America, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So you need cash flow. You need money, no matter how you slice it. So let's get started with this, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's go. Here we go. We have some comments. Let's go. Facts from Little Fam. Jaway J. He says, Eric, the American dream was stolen when the middle class was dismantled. Very, very true, Jaway J. That's right. Got to know the history, ladies and gentlemen, because in the 1950s, they tried to portray it. Here's the American dream. That man's going to go out and work. The wife is going to have the kids, and she's going to take care of the household and the kids while the man's at work. And you guys are going to get your white little picket fence and your little home. Except, let's get real. American dream for some is American nightmare for others, because that little American dream that they put out there, I'm sorry, if you're a minority, we put it in our CC&Rs, you can't live in our neighborhood. So some would say, wait, I was shut off from the American dream. That American dream. So you had to persevere. Somebody else says, oh no, you get to sit over here. There's no water, there's no sewer, there's only office warehouses over in that section. That land's worth a lot less, so you can move over there. Automatically, the wealth curve is divided. Oh, yeah, we have a little CRT tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I mean American history. That's what I mean, American history. So when we start talking about the American dream for some, oh, yeah, I gave you the 1950s. But unfortunately, there were people being excluded from that American dream, and they still said, no worries. I'm going to do it anyhow. So I'm going to go over here, start my business. I'm going to go over here, make sure I go to school, get educated, be able to get a better paying job, so then I can move in a different area that I want to move to. These things are what you have to do if you want to create your American dream. And people from all over the world come here to America, because this is one of the few places that you can buy your way into anything. That's how it works, right? Good stuff, bro, from George's Charles. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Laverne Penix, Mr. Cool. I am preparing for the bull run on road to 100 shares, Tesla and other stocks. Yes, he dropped a bag on the Tesla back when it was in the 100s. It's over in the 260s, 70s, 80s now, doing the damn thing. Hey, all of us are feeling pretty damn good about Tesla, because we're all in that 100 and something range. And now that they've basically, it's already 100% on everybody's money at this point. And so everybody's got to be rocking and rolling and being very, very happy about that. So Laverne Penix, he's easily happy about his 100 shares that he's about to get to. But congratulations on that, Mr. Cool. Perseverance is paying off mightily. And and by the way, Tesla is a stock, in case you do not know, and that's an equity. That's part of the top 10 percenters playbook. Equities and real estate. That's the two things. Finance is another. But again, you can be barred because you have to have financial licensing. So that's the little differences. Blade S. Kona, the guy from Larimar, said that the apartments in Horizon 2 is going to cost $400 a square foot. Okay, I know what you're saying. Just so everybody understands, it's going to be $4,000 a square meter. And so it's 10 times less than that number for square feet, just so everybody knows. So when we start talking about, let me give you guys an idea. This is pretty crazy. Larimar, before I read the rest, the penthouse unit to make things, well, no, I'll use a two-bedroom unit. Two-bedroom unit in Horizon is 1,100 square feet. So I'm going to round down to 1,000 square feet. Right now, you can buy a two-bedroom for $223,000 at Horizon. So Horizon is 109 square meters. All right. But it's 1,100 square feet. So what he's referring to is the director, strategic director. He's talking about Danny Melky. He's the one that said 400. So it's 400 a square meter, like he's saying. So now, instead of it being 109 square meters times 400, now you're understanding 400, or I'm sorry, I mixed up. It's 4,000 square meters. It's 400 square feet. So that 1,100 square feet, that condo will rise up to $440 US. And right now you can buy it for $223,000. That's how much equity is going to happen here. And some people would say, hey, wait a minute, that 4,000 per square meter is crazy. It's not that crazy. We just talked about Serenissima over in Cap Cana. They are at 3,000 to 3,800 a square meter in Cap Cana right now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, right now. So when he said 4,000 per square meter, $400 per square foot, he's right. And congratulations for everybody else, because if you're going to be at Larimar, which has all these amenities, that means you will probably be able to get that $400 per square meter and that, or $4,000 per square meter price. That's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to win. Everybody's going to be happy. Nobody's going to be unhappy buying right now. So you have a shot. The American dream is coming. Blade S. Kona, I don't know if he's pulled the trigger yet, but I do know this. The undervalued penthouse units, 1,900 square feet. To give you guys an idea, when you start talking about 179 square meters, and right now you can buy for $346,000 at the Prime Towers. When you start doing 4,000 per square meters, which those will command, that's almost $800,000. Do you understand the difference between 320, 340, and 800? This is why the wealthy will get wealthier, because somebody wealthy will buy this unit for 340. They know in a matter of 2 or 3 years, they will be getting 4,000 a square meter. They know it's going to be $700,000-$800,000 in value that they bought for $350,000. See how this works? Meanwhile, some of us who bought condos, which are only 79 square meters, sure, 120, 130, 140, but again, 4,000 square meters, that means 320, 330, 340. Well, that's nice. $200,000 or thereabouts in equity, but the other guy gets $400,000 or $500,000 in equity with the same percentages. So those are the things that you have to start thinking about, right? That's the wealth gap. So anyhow, he says, so the people who buying in Horizon View 1 is going to have a good profit in a few years. Everybody's going to have a great profit in a few years is the key word. In 3 years, I believe, 2026. When, yeah, 2026 is when it's going to go down. It's already going to be a great profit from the time they build it. But in 2025, we're already going to be at 4,000 square meters. It's going to happen before we get to 2025 because of the amount of work they're putting in Dominican Republic and Punta Cana and the deals they're making. There's more flights coming in from South America now. They made another deal over the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's getting out of control. Brian P., welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He has the icon next to his name, and he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, Eric. Hello to you too. How is it going this evening? All is going well. Hopefully, all's going well with you. Hello, SSN family. Hello, hello, hello. Georges Charles says, good stuff, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Jawway J, another person taking advantage of the dream. He says, Eric, the American dream was stolen. Oh, yes, I've already put this down. When the middle class was dismantled. Oh my, you got to know your history, ladies and gentlemen, because yes, the only way you can dismantle the American dream is from the 1950s and 60s is what happens when the 70s rolls around. You start saying we're going to be off of the gold standard. So now we can print money whenever we feel like it. And then we have the oil nation of Saudi Arabia back our petrodollar. So there you have a situation where now it costs more money than the one individual can make. The majority, not everybody fell in that category. But inflation started rising. Interest rates on homes were 10%. That was the norm. Can you imagine 10% right now? So needless to say, that 10% situation, that all of a sudden made it like, hey, wife, you're going to have to go out here and get a job, or I'm going to have to work 2 jobs. I won't be home for 16 hours a day. We got to do something here. This is how it all starts, because inflation is the silent middle class killer. All right. So we're going through Independence Day tomorrow, but today we're getting a little history, American history. Once again, you guys, it matters. You need to know your history, because then you can understand, you can make moves, because history repeats itself. High inflation rate, it's going to repeat itself. No way around it. The cost of gas and all that possibly being way higher, and food shortages, gas shortages, that's possible. All right. So that's part of the reason why the dismantling of the middle class. But it's very easy if it's going to cost you 10, 20% more, and you didn't make 10, 20% more just to stay even. So now that puts everybody at a disadvantage who doesn't already have their wealth created. All right, little fam, he said the facts. I went over it already. Victor Marrero, he says, you have to take risk in order to be financially independent. Exactly. There's no other way. He's got that exactly right. You have to force the American dream upon yourself. Very well said. If it was that easy, everyone would have it. You got that right. Just my opinion. And therein lies the whole situation that I was talking about earlier when he put in there, if it was that easy, everyone would have it, goes by what I was talking about, the millionaires. They fail. Some of them fail 2 times. Some of them fail 10. Some of them fail 20 times before they become a millionaire. But the average one fails 17 times. You can't give up. And that's exactly what happens. If it was that easy, it's not that easy is the problem. That is the problem, because nobody's willing to work the extra. And you want to know what happens in all fields? This is not rocket science at all. No matter what field you are in, generally the top 10% of that field, the reason why they're the top 10%, they didn't give up, and they kept pushing and pushing and pushing themselves, getting more educated, understanding the craft better, understanding how they can produce something better, smarter, faster, more efficient. They kept going. They didn't give up, even though that everything said we are down to our last dollar in the bank. We don't know where we're going to get the rest of the money to complete this task. They still didn't give up. That's the separation. It's not easy, but you can put yourself on the right track. And we're putting you on the right track, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Victor Marrero. Powerful words there, I will have to say, on this Independence Day week. James Way, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He too has the icon next to his name, and he brings his tagline. Hello, all. Uncle Sam telling me I got to dig deeper in my wallet because the rent is too damn high. He's got that right, because the American nightmare is the American rental situation, where 24.7 of the millennials, 24.7% of the millennials in the survey said this: we know we can't afford anything. We're just going to rent our whole life. 24%, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand the millennials? There's roughly 30 to 40 million of those millennials. Do you understand what this means? If they determine that they're just going to rent for life, that means the corporations or you who own the multifamilies or homes are going to be the ones renting to them. This is a setup for the worst case scenario. All right. Now, he told me if I can't pay, then I'm a loser. Like Tom Vu used to say. He knows who I'm talking about. He knows who I'm talking about. Exactly. Exactly. That's Tom Vu's talking there. Oh, if I can't pay, then I'm a loser. Like Tom Vu used to say. Exactly. Don't be a loser. Oh, man, that guy was funny as hell. George's Charles, best decision I ever made investing overseas in the DR. Yes, it is, George's Charles. That is it exactly. That is the best decision for more ways than one. I was talking to a friend of mine who called me up over the weekend, and we were talking about the state of affairs in America. And then I said, hey, man, look, I don't know what to tell you. He's like telling me that we have this transgender situation, and his wife golfs. And some guy comes in saying, I identify as a woman, dresses up as a woman. He's like 6'3", 6'4", and he's on the golf course. So the women are having their little tournament. So now he's allegedly transgender. So he's hitting from the women's tees. And of course, he's smoking the women. Of course, he's like I said, he's like 6'3", 6'4", and he can play. So he's playing. It's crazy, right? And I said, yeah, man, this is kind of crazy. And so we start talking further, and he's like, man, America's getting kind of wiggy. And I said, hey, it's not just wiggy. It's like, if you're going to have to pay more money. So he's retired, and he's realizing the inflationary situation. Things cost 10, 20, 30% more. And yeah, he's retired. Everything's fine. But the fact of the matter is, a chunk of change is coming out that wasn't accounted for. And he's still going to live probably another 20 years. So then I said, hey, man, there's only certain areas in the world that you can get no credit check, no qualifying, and get pre-constructions, and these properties are under $200,000 can get you a decent property. And all you have to do is put 10% down, and then 30 to 40% over the next 2 to 3 to 3.5 years, depending on what you want. And I said, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You can take your choice anywhere in the country or world. But I said, here's the thing. You're going to have to figure out what's going to happen later. What happens if your passports are no longer valid? What happens if all of a sudden there's no food? Your electricity's, the grid's not fixed, and things are crazy. I said, you can pick any place you want in the world to live, but what good is it going to do you if there's a true shutdown? What good is it going to do you if it costs you to fly over to, let's say, Thailand, and it costs you $2,000 to $2,500 per person, and you don't have that kind of money? Sure, your condo or whatever you bought, your villa condo, only costs 75 grand or less, but it's going to cost you 10% of that just to fly 2 people there. I said, so then you still have to make money when you get there, right? So I'm saying, I'm not going to go that far away. I said, this is why I've been telling people about Dominican Republic, because I can always get on a boat in Miami, or Florida or Georgia, and I can get to any of the islands in the Caribbean. That's not a problem. So once I get on the island and I have property there, we're good. So we're not under American rule, like if I was in Puerto Rico, for instance. So that's my little backstop on the way I see the future, because once you understand the inequality and the rules that are being made to create even more inequality, there's only one or two things left. After you say education, then it's going to turn into only X amount of people can make X amount of dollars. That's where we're going with this. And if you're not one of those people being a high end earner or having assets that pay you, then you're going to be left behind even further than what James Wade was talking about. You're going to be you're going to be left so far behind that you're going to be in this quagmire of problems where people are just going to steal, rob, steal, lie, cheat. That's going to be the norm. We're already moving in that direction. So all I can tell you is, ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy. All right. Best decision I ever made. Very glad to hear George's Charles, because yes, you did. Smash that like button, says Brian P. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what I'm talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. And oh, by the way, Wednesday night live stream, we will have that where it's going to be back to members with the icons are the only ones that can be in the chat room on Wednesday night. Everybody can watch, and it's at 8:50 p.m. So don't miss that. All right, Eric, Brian P. Hey, Eric, I got the notification and trailer. Thank you so much. That's 5 people tonight. I appreciate that. Here we go. American Dream today from Jawway J is pursuing something you are passionate about. That's part of the equation right there. Making money doing it, exactly, and living your life the way you want to live. If you can get it, that's the one, that's the ultimate goal, and that's the new definition. That's the new definition they're trying to impart into people. Is that's the American dream now. That you're able to create, be passionate about it, make some money, and live your best life. Well, I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. That utopia nonsense, that's not going to hold water when 35 million people control nearly what 200 million people are going to, resources that 200 million people are going to need. I'm just saying, and never mind about the other 100 million that is also in that 40% category that can fend for themselves. But you start putting in minority numbers, 35 million is a minority, 40 million is a minority, or 80 million, sorry. 80 million is going to be a minority. And then you have 200 million that are in the 1% of wealth after this next bull run. That's going to be a problem. The writing's on the wall. I mean, anybody know about the Roman Empire? All right. That's what America is, basically. Except the Roman Empire didn't have the world's currency. That's the difference. America has world's currency. If America doesn't have world currency, we got real problems now. All right. But thank you so much, Jawway J. Very insightful. Little family. I do think Laramar price will explode. Yes, little family, it will explode. I 120% agree with this. In fact, it's already in stone. I hate to bring it up like that, but that's what it is. In case people aren't familiar with Laramar, please search the channel, check out Laramar. It's a project that is off the charts. It's unbelievable. It's going to be a worldwide phenomena, in my opinion, if they pull it off. And I keep saying if they pull it off because I'm still skeptical, because it's going to be massive. When you start talking about a 1.8 mile, 1.5 mile boardwalk with pools, beaches, water parks, wellness centers, retail establishments, retail office right there, and beach clubs. That's 1.5 miles, 1.8 miles, up to 3 kilometers. That there's no other place on the planet that has this that I know of. I've been searching. I still search every day. I just can't find one. I find things in Ecuador. I find things like in Peru where they made these big beaches and big lagoons and big pools. but nothing that goes down even a half a mile, where there's pools, beach clubs, tiki huts, bars, restaurants, places to shop, all in this section on the and it's man-made beaches. There's nothing like this. If they create this, this is going to be known worldwide. This is going to be a tourist attraction worldwide. And also what's going to be a tourist attraction is Cruise on Land, which is up the street. It's also in Verone. They're trying to make some sort of amusement stuff going on there. So you're going to have people congregating in this one area that love to do tourism type of things like people do in Orlando. That is going to be pretty major, significant, big time. So that's why I believe myself, and the reason I keep saying if is because it's never been done. Even though they're saying they're going to do it, even though they're making agreement, it still has never been done. So I want to see this. And like I said, if you ever go to Waikiki and then Honolulu, Hawaii, and you're down at the marina where, let's just say you're by where Hilton Towers, or if you're at Diamond Head and you go and you go up to Diamond Head and you see and you look down and go and you can see the Hilton Towers or you can see the marina, that's literally like 2.5 miles. All right. So what we're talking about here is when you look down that strip of beach, you do not see pools, man-made beaches, stores and shopping right there on the beach. You don't see all of that. You do see restaurants. You do see little stores and little shops, but it's not the full length of the thing. It's not like that. So this is going to have a full length and tiers, double tiers. So beach clubs for the general public and owners of Larimar are going to be on a lower tier. You can go have access. You go up another tier. This is the tier where only owners beach clubs are. A mile and a half, 1.8 miles if they do the 3 kilometers. That's unheard of, ladies and gentlemen. Restaurant, bars, fitness centers, all this kind of stuff could be on these little tiers overlooking the city, possibly seeing on the horizon the ocean. And according to Danny Melky, we can see the ocean, a sliver of it, just standing on it, but nobody's shown me a picture of this yet. So I'm still skeptical about that. But I do know if you're up another 100 feet, you should be able to see a little bit of water. So that does matter. So when he says it's going to explode, I agree with you 110%. It's going to explode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing this for like an hour now. So you know what that means. SSN Lifestyle coming back to life. We're going to make new website. So again, new website, little changes, new things happening. Haven't forgotten about you because we need that American dream for everybody, ladies and gentlemen, because right now I get sent some things. I just sent somebody over to Harborside at Atlantis. All right. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Let me do our normal little SSN Lifestyle. It's time for a little fun, shall we? Time for a commercial, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm going to call it. Let's do a little commercial. Let's go.
But it would have been so awesome. I was going to soar right through here like this. And, whoops, I'm sorry. Vin Diesel, excuse me. My bad. Big fan, though, Mr. Diesel. Excuse me. And then I'm flying, and I'd be flying, and I'd land right. Where do I land?
Oh, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you want the American dream to be. Whatever your dream is, you work for it, you succeed, then you do your dream. No, nothing wrong with that. That's what we're trying to do here. And as long as you have that utopia in the back of your mind, the utopia from everybody that gets on ships, risk their lives to just get here on a floaty, That's the American dream that the world is coming here for. But a lot of people here in America believe in they're living in the American nightmare. And a lot of people are, quite frankly, because some people don't have the job opportunities. They don't have the educational opportunities. They don't have the housing opportunities. That would create an American nightmare for others. So, where do you want to be, ladies and gentlemen? Where do you want to be? Jawway J says, Eric, were you able to find out more information on the name of the bank? No, Jawway J, I didn't get any info back from this alleged bank that's going to do 50%. So, unfortunately, it's holiday weekend, so we'll see. I'm going to I should send another email today just in case, but I'll probably wait till Wednesday since I haven't heard it's over the weekend. So we'll see what happens. But no, unfortunately, that's a significant information to hear. Now, I want to let everybody know some other things when it comes to real estate, because that is one area that you can create your wealth and get your American dream. Yes, it's always been kind of that way, but here comes the gut punch for a few of people. If you don't get some real estate in the next 6 months to 6 months to about 9 months, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. If you thought what happened in 2020 and 2021, where people were outbidding you, you're going to be back in that situation. And home prices going up another 20% after they're already $400,000 or $500,000 is going to be a nightmare. All right, a $500,000 house, and in the year it's going to be 600, and in another year it could potentially be 750. I mean, this is what it's going to turn into, because interest rates are going to be dropping. And so now the affordability meter drops dramatically after you get over 500, because households aren't going to generally be making $200,000 a year. You have to make over $200,000 a year in order, if you want to be in that 700,000 and up club. So you start narrowing the playing field. So once again, this is why you have to make decisions now in the next 9 months, in my opinion. We're going to see how this is all going to play out, of course, but I wouldn't be sleeping. I would be preparing. And if it doesn't happen like that, at least you're already prepared. That's the key right there. You want your American dream, you have to prepare yourself many different ways. There's not just one way. You have to come with 2 or 3 contingency plans. All right. So, yeah, in fact, in case there's some people here, what he means is, we were talking about, there's a person that owns it, Ziba, and she sent me an email, I believe it was on Friday, and she said, I was able to get financing and they're giving me 50% of what my contract is. And I was trying to get the bank, because Jawway J also needs to get some banking information done. And so the banks that he's been dealing with, they've been acting weird. So all I'm saying is we're trying to get him some information. So if you do see this video and you're watching, and you're the one that did send me the information about the bank, and I know you know who you are because I just mentioned Ziba, let me know who the bank is so I can pass it along to Jawway J, because at least we have of the bank is, making it happen. Also, Jawway J, I'll check on some other people as well. News about the beach, which is pretty awesome, actually. Some people are going to be closing, allegedly, in the next 6-7 days. In fact, I know somebody that I can ask, not 6-7 days, sorry. August, the first week in August, a person is supposed to close on the beach unit. So I'm going to go find out from him too, who he used. And that is the weirdest thing of all. Remember when we were at Larimar and they said, hey, we're going to have all of this done the first phase, like 1 kilometer or a half of a kilometer of the beach boardwalk area. We're going to have the sports complex done. We're going to have Prime Towers done, Horizon 1 done, all these things. The beach has nothing done except for a lagoon. People are taking delivery and are going to pay their loans and live there with nothing. They have nothing but the lagoon, and actually the lagoon is still not open. So this is very, very interesting that people are willing to pay for their units. And of course, it's due to certain things. They were supposed to have delivery like 3 years ago. and the fact it's been 5 years. So they're a little anxious. They have to rent because they had planned on moving over there 2 or 3 years ago. So you can't blame them. So at least the way they're looking at it is, at least if we're going to pay rent, it's going to be for our own stuff. And we don't really care. We'll just have to deal with the build out that they're doing there and whatever the situation is. So I can't blame them either way. But here's the other kicker. I have some people that are owners at the beach, and they said, you know what? When we're going to have delivery over the next 30 days, we're going to sell our units. Very smart. They bought more than one unit. How smart is that? Remember, I told you guys about possibly getting more than one unit, right? Because they're selling 2 units. Those 2 units have doubled in value, even with the 10% less than what the project sells them for. They'll still reap double their value. So therefore, they take that money. Now they can go buy whatever they want or pay off their other unit and still have change left over. That's how sweet this is, right? That's a good sign, because the sign says they are already over $200 a square foot. Right now, their prices are over 200. They're like 220, 230. That's a good sign. And all they have is a lagoon. So imagine a project like Vista Cana that has 3 lagoons and actually has a sports complex and things like that. How much is theirs per square foot going to be? Still 200? Highly unlikely. Is it going to be 300? Probably in 3 years or less. Is it going to be 400? More than likely, it's going to happen. So getting in now before 2 years, 3 years goes by, you win. Like I keep saying. All right, let's go. We got King Choice in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Thank you so much for being in the house. And he says, as soon as I come in, first thing I hear is news on the beach. Lots of love, perfect timing. What's good, SSN fam? What's good with you, King's Choice? Yeah, it's nothing but good news. The beach is not even built out. This is what's so fascinating about the beach. The beach, guys, look, you guys know I'm moving into the real estate hour now. The beach and Conarock. Those are the 2 places you need to pay attention to. There's reasons why you need to pay attention to those. You need to pay attention to that. And the reason I'm saying it for all the condo owners, the reason why I'm using those 2 as metrics is because the beach, all they have is a lagoon. All right. Not only that, their values of their project units went up 100%. All right. So even though they only have a lagoon showing, even though they're way behind in their project, the resort is almost sold out. And people have paid twice as much as somebody that bought a place 2 years ago, 2.5 or 3 years ago, twice as much. So that is a good omen for other projects that have a beach or a lagoon or something, and they have extra things like barbecue grills. Everybody's going to have those. Basketball courts, which the beach may not have. Tennis courts, which the beach is supposed to have. You're going to have baseball, soccer at some locations. We're talking about Vista Cana and maybe even Adebayo too. Maybe even, and we're going to have that at Atlantida. You're going to have that at a lot of places, right? A sports complex. Amphitheater. Well, that's not going to exist anywhere downtown, right? No project downtown is probably going to have an amphitheater. Atlantida is going to have one. Cruise on Land is going to have one. Vista Cana is supposed to have one, but inside Panorama, I don't know if that's going to actually come to fruition. Then Larimar is supposed to have some venue as well. They changed it, not 10,000 seat arena like they led us to believe months ago. They've kind of walked that back now and said, oh, we'll just have a little event thing. I'm like, dudes, with what you guys are doing, this is going to be a worldwide phenomenon. You need to have the best stuff already in place because you're already building the ecosystem. But back to why I'm using the beach in Conarock. Connor Rock basically have condos at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, but the condos are outside of Hard Rock's preview. So, in other words, your wristband that you get at the Hard Rock, you got to pay for that. You don't get all access to the Hard Rock because you bought a condo at Connor Rock or Connor Pearl or whatever else they want to call them at that location. They're just built on the golf course. These guys have a fitness center. They have a bar at the pool. They have a restaurant on site, fitness center. So they do have some amenities, but all they have is that. And then there's a beach club that they get to go to, but I don't know if they have to pay for that or not. But the fact of the matter is they can go to the beach there. So they don't get to go use all of Hard Rock's amenities. Everybody who stays at Connor Rock can go to the casino, nightclub, and another restaurant and deli, but you can't go to the rest of the restaurants and the water complex or whatever without paying. But that's the thing. Even with everything I just said, their property values have went up 50 to 100% more for certain buildings. That is why you got to pay attention, because if they're able to do it, and they don't even have a commercial zone until recently, they said, we're going to have a commercial zone for our Connor Rock guests and visitors. And because you're right, we're out here, you can't really go into Hard Rock. So we're going to create our own commercial zone, whether it's going to be out on the freeway or where they're going to build it inside of the gate, who knows? But the fact of the matter is, even they realize their little shortcomings, but that has not affected the real estate market for certain buildings at the Connor Rock project. So that's why I pay attention, because these projects that don't hardly have any amenities, and they still are able to have a 50 to 100% increase in value before the project is built, that tells you that anybody that does have amenities, then therefore you're going to have a higher projected value, in my opinion. That's how real estate works. If I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and I have 1,100 square feet, and mine costs $223,000, and somebody else bought the same $223,000, and one's at Connor Rock and one's at Larimar or one's at Vista Cana, if the Connor Rock one goes up to $400,000 and they have what they have, yes, it's by the beach, but Vista Cana's then should at least be $400,000 too, because they have a sports complex. They have commercial zones. They have restaurants, bars, fishing lake, and a whole bunch of things. Shopping center. Everything's in sight, on site. So how can they be the same value? But I'll take that same value. It's not going to be any less than that value. It's at least got to equal that value. Some might say, well, the Connor Rock's by the beach, by the ocean. And some would say, okay, they're by the beach, by the ocean, but we have 2 saltwater man-made beaches here. So now people are like, okay, I can equate the same when we start evaluating. And so we start going apples with the same price points, the same unit sizes and things like that. All of a sudden you're like, yeah, if that's worth $400,000, that's worth $400,000 because of the extra amenities. If they didn't have those extra amenities, then hell no, it wouldn't be the same. So that's what we're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want the American dream instead of the American nightmare, you have to recognize opportunities when you see them. Like Laverne Penix, when he did his, I put a bag on Tesla a few months back. It was in the hundreds. We all applauded that move. Now look, his bag is doubled probably. So all I'm saying is timing matters, recognizing opportunity matters, because if you want the American dream, it can turn into a nightmare, but that doesn't mean you give up. That just means you keep motivated, keep going for it. You still have another lifetime to live. Again, I use lifetimes. When you're from 0 to about 20, that's one lifetime, because you're just now growing. You're just now learning. You're just now still saying, I got an adventure I got to go for. Then when you're like in your 20s and you go up to around 40, 45-ish, That's another lifetime, because now you're getting older, you're getting wiser, you're getting smarter, you're finding out, hey, this is what I might need to do. So you start moving a little different. Then in your 50s to 60s until you're like 70, that's another lifetime, because now you're transitioning into, what do I want to really do? Right? And then anything after 70, that's a whole nother lifetime, because now you've done pretty much what you've wanted to do under the best case scenario. And now you don't know what's going to happen after the 70 number, right? Because health generally starts failing. Let's just call it what it is. So you may not be able to get around like you used to. Your mind may not be right like it used to be. You just never know what's going to happen. So those are the things that you have to keep in mind, because you want the American dream sooner than later. I'm going to give you guys this example. American Nightmare, Bruce Willis, who a lot of people know. I don't know how old he is, but he wakes up. He doesn't even, all of a sudden, he has this rare disease, doesn't recognize people, can't do anything. It's crazy. And it seems like a few years ago, he was fine. And then it seems like in a matter of a few, 2, 3, 4 years, all of a sudden the guy it's like he can't recognize people and talk, and it's crazy. So this is what I'm saying. You never know when something's going to happen. So why are you going to wait around during your lifetimes to make your American dream happen? Some people are going, okay, I'm going to take the 3 years. I'm going to take 5 years. I'm going to take 12 years. I'm going to take 15 years because I have more time. Well, you may not have more time, ladies and gentlemen. So it's no time than like the present to try to press on the American dream and make it happen. All right, look who else is in the house, King Choice. We have Raydel Cabezas is here. He's one of those beach owners as well, making things happen with a big-ass smile on his face. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has the icon next to his name. He says, good evening, SSN. Good evening to you too. And he says, watching and learning as always. Thank you so much. I appreciate that greatly, and especially the icon. And little family says, Victor, how's the Galaxy? Exactly. He's at the Galaxy, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, the Galaxy is now selling for like the 2-bedroom units. They're like 380, 400 G's. I mean, they used to be in the 200s, just so everybody knows. So this is what I'm talking about. If those two properties, if you can go to the beach and buy something for $200,000 and now it's 400, if you can buy something for 300,000 and now it's worth 600 or 700, that's a serious win. Who's going to follow along with that playbook? Everybody who's going to be at these projects that have amenities. Everybody wins. Of course, I single out 3 or 4, but I mean, there's a few more projects in Punta Cana, Cap Cana, and Dominican Republic itself that have, water parks and things like, there's one in Sosua Ocean Village has a water park, condos, villas, overlooks the water. I mean, their property values have went off the charts. So that's in Cabarete Sosua area. So that just gives you an idea on what you can do, ladies and gentlemen. You can put yourself in position, and everything we're talking about here is pre-construction. So that meant people could have put down 10%, 30% during construction. Other people, 20%, 30% during construction. Other 10% down, 40% during construction. Take your pick. But everybody who has done that, nearly everybody, is going to be a winner. Let's just call it what it is. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Are you in the American dream, or are you on the American nightmare side? Because remember, no matter which side you're on right now, you can create your dream. And why not have more than one dream? Why not have 2? Why not have 3? Why not have 4? All right. So some of you guys know, in fact, I've talked about it before. So let's talk American dreams. Let's talk about this thing that I do, that I talked about when I said, what's your lifetimes, right? So you guys know in the early 2000s, some of you may not know, in the early 2000s, I was like, It's like I have always run science experiments, what I wanted to do. And it all turned out just simply because I told this story before, but in 2003, my daughters were under 18. And so I walked in Toys R Us. And some people may go, what's Toys R Us? No, Toys R Us used to be a big toy store. I walked in there and said, hey, what's the hottest thing? My girls are X amount of age. What's the hottest thing in here? And the guy says poker. And I'm like, come on, man. I don't give, the kids shouldn't be doing poker. He's like, no, but you asked me what the hottest thing here. Poker. Poker chips sold out. Playing cards sold out. I was like, what are you talking about? So here I am doing short-term rentals. I've always done that. So that's always been in the background. I've always had that going. So I was doing that too, even then. So I'm sitting here like, okay, let me go check this out. And that's when I found out about Chris Moneymaker winning the World Series of Poker in the summer of 2003. And the whole America was on fire about this guy, this supposed amateur won the World Series of Poker. So now everybody wants to learn poker. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? This is crazy after I look it up. But because of who I am, I say, you know what? Why don't I just do this? I think I can do poker. I know numbers. It's a percentage game. I know numbers pretty good. Why not? So I just went home, went to GoDaddy, opened up the poker101a.com website. That still was available. So it was like school. So then all I did was start getting research from wherever I could online. And I posted up the articles from some of the poker players. I did all this stuff. Next thing I know, 500 people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people, then poker rooms, online poker rooms hit me up and said, hey, do you want to have a free roll at our site? So they would chip in simple little money, $100, $200, and then they would be a free roll. And the reason they did the free roll is people would come play for free. And then some people would have that free money and then start playing. And the poker rooms online get rake. Every time there's a hand, you get rake. And if there's a tournament, everybody that pays into the tournament, they get a certain percentage of the overall prize pool. It's pretty simple and straightforward. But they really want people that play cash games because every hand has a cash number called a rake involved. So you have a few hundred people playing in the tournament, all those people that sign up. For the rest of my life, as long as the poker room is open, I get checks, residual checks. So if the person plays poker, 10 hands, that generated, if they play cash, that generates rake, and I receive commission. At the time, though, I did it for two reasons. One, to help other people learn. And the second, I was learning as well. So then I ended up being a very good poker player. So then I said, you know what? IRS tax time comes around. I said, well, I made X amount of dollars. I guess I'm a professional poker player now. So I had to file as a professional poker player on one, have properties on another, doing something with the land auction guys at the time as well. So all this stuff is going on. So another lifetime, I'm playing poker, just like right now is the World Series of Poker with those guys that some of the guys are still playing to this day. I used to play with them from like 2003 to 2009. So 6 years, another lifetime. I used to go around the world playing poker. So that's another American dream. But then it came an American nightmare because the United States of America blocked offshore poker rooms. So then it stopped us from being able to play online because you could have 3, 4, 5, 6 tables up, play all at once, which was cool. Making a lot of money that way. So that is the American dream I'm talking about. Which lifetime are you going to be in? So now when I started this 5 years ago, I'm sitting here watching what's happening over the last from 2009, 2015, because remember 2008, 2009, 2010 is the Great Recession. And it has an effect. So I'm watching all this, right? 2015, 2016, then all of a sudden 2018, and then I'm sitting at the house and I'm just like, man, all these people are getting screwed over all this time simply because they're looking at things a certain way. You know what? Let me start this YouTube channel, Stop Struggling Now. And I said, let me just help people out every once or twice a week, I'll drop a little video, start telling people about how to make money, different ways to start a business, how to start a business, how to just a myriad of things that we were talking about. Credit, business credit, funding, all kind of things, right? To help people, because basically funding and credit and things like that was hurting people. And buying real estate, people were always like, I can't buy real estate, it's too expensive. Nobody knew about discount lots, land modo, things like that. A lot of people didn't know you didn't need credit or anything and get a hold of some land. They didn't know that you can go down to the tax sales and buy land that way as well. So, or homes. So all these things we talked about over the years. And so that's how it all started. So now we're in another lifetime where I've been on YouTube for like 5 years now, right? Trying to help everybody. That's what we're trying to do out here, ladies and gentlemen. And I need your help too. All right. Joel Nolasco, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, Larimar is the American dream. I have to agree with you on that, because if they pull this off, it's going to be off the charts. Man, Victor Marrero at Little Family. We received an email stating we should be closing by end of second quarter 2024. Okay, we knew it wasn't going to be 2023, but second quarter, that's June, I believe they said, right? We're going to check the construction late October this year, so we'll see. All right, so again, predicted Galaxy end of, we were talking, myself, I predict end of 2024 was Galaxy, but we will see. This is one of the things that is kind of bothersome with, again, King Choice, Rodel Cabezas, you guys, you're going to double your value of the condos, but the beach, there's people who are moving in and their units aren't ready, which is kind of bizarre to me. I'm not moving in. I'm not going to be moving in and they say, hey, we're going to come and fix up some stuff, Eric. That's one of the downfalls with pre-construction. Even if you do pre-construction in America, people move in their home and then they're calling up the developer saying, hey, man, this isn't done. Now you need to come back over here and fix this. And oftentimes the developer just keeps running out the clock. They won't come and fix anything. And then after a year's up, it's like, oh, you're on your own. So those are the things that is bothersome. But hopefully the guys at Connor Rock don't do this kind of crazy, put in 10 people, still building the other units and all that crazy. Hopefully they don't do that. And I hope no project really does that, but that's each project, it does it their own way. It's just, I'm not a big fan of that scenario. All right, let's see. Mo Better is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has the icon next to his name. And he says, what's up? What's up, SSN Nation? What's up, E? All is good, Mo Better. What's up with you? And he says, we in the building. Yes, he's in the building. He's in the house. And I believe he's another Larimar owner is here. That's right. I love that. Got the notification trailer. We're up to 6 people. This is awesome. Thank you so much. If you have not already told me you received the notification and saw the trailer, please let me know if you did one or received one or saw the other. Please let me know. Curtis Davis is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has his Chili Davis name, where he has his own YouTube channel. He's now over 1,000 subscribers, thanks to you. But we always need some more subscribers. And he gives out financial news and information, just like we do here in the SSN Nation. He's part of the network. So go show some love and subscribe. And not only subscribe, click the all notification bell. Make sure you do that. All right. Show some love over there, ladies and gentlemen. And he brings his tagline, good evening, SSN family. And Chili Davis, also known as Mr. Financial in these YouTube streets. But go show some love. Very, very nice to see you once again. Always dropping gems, letting us know Tesla went up another 2.68%, letting us know SoFi also 1%. Oh, yes, he's keeping up to date on the information that you need. Financial news and information. If you want the American dream, guess what? You can't ignore it. right? It used to be very, very funny. Who would you see when they used to have newspapers? Wall Street Journal. You know where the Wall Street Journal most of the times would be? When you go to Motel 6, let's say, when you go to any just regular hotel, Wall Street Journal, not there. The local newspaper, it would be there. But if you go to high-end hotels and stay in five-star hotels, stay in luxury hotels, guess what's coming under the door? Wall Street Journal. That right there should tell you what you need to know. It told me at a young age, it was like, wait a minute. When I'm staying here, these guys are sliding the Wall Street Journal underneath my door. I stay at some other smaller place. They don't even have the Wall Street Journal. I'm like, okay, there's a distinct situation going on here. The guys who are staying here because we're staying in a pricier location, Wall Street Journal. The not so pricey location, no Wall Street Journal. So right then and there, I was opening up the Wall Street Journal because I was like, hold on a second. We got to go look and see what the hell's going on. And sure enough, inside the Wall Street Journal, there's things happening like who wants to buy shares of stock back in the day for startup companies? Who's going to buy into this new company over here? Who wants to buy into my investment opportunity? All this is on the back side or second to the back page in the Wall Street Journal. You want a franchise? You can get a franchise. Here's how much this franchise costs. Here's how much this franchise costs. Back in the day, they put the prices in there in the Wall Street Journal because people with money, upper class, allegedly the financiers, they get Wall Street Journal. So they used to have ads in the back. Somebody starting up a company. Do you want to invest or has already started a company? We need $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. So when you start getting that newspaper at the time and you start reading it, you're just like, oh man, there's a whole nother world over here. You can do anything. You could have put an ad in the paper. Some of you may not know. Go check out the Damon John story. That's what he did. Put an ad in the paper. He was almost out of business for FUBU. Who wants to invest in my company? That's what used to be in the Wall Street Journal, ladies and gentlemen. That's how crazy this is. All right. So we will see. Eric, you are absolutely right. I refused to sign a single closure paper until the builder had fixed the items identified for fixing. If you sign, then you won't have a sense of urgency. Yeah, then they won't have a sense of urgency. Exactly. That's what I'm worried about for everybody that's doing their quick sign up at the beach or anywhere else for that matter. If your property hasn't been closed yet and you're behind, you're going to run into this. You're going to have to come up with some resolve or not. You're going to have to tell them, hey man, I'm not moving in here. You told me on my contract this was what's going to be in the first phase. It's not here. And you want me to pay HOAs too? This is crazy. As soon as you sign, you're paying HOAs. And in the case of, I'm going to pick on the beach. I have to because they have a lagoon there. They only have a lagoon. But you're paying HOAs as if you have other amenities. That's not fair. But as a buyer, it's up to you to determine, hey man, I don't want to sign this paper. So it's up to you what you're going to do. But all I'm saying is it's just not fair that they're delivering the units, and then they're sitting there saying, hey, you're going to pay your HOA full price. And even though all we have is a lagoon that you really can't swim in, really, it's kind of crazy. So all I'm saying, I don't want that for anybody. So you're going to have to make that your own decision. Chili Davis, excellent tips on closing on condos and builders. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if you just now joined us, remember the American dream or American nightmare depends on you. You can create your dream. And in this case, the latest American dream is being done by our very own Professor Auntie Val with her beachfront Java. Tonight is the last night that you're going to be able to get that 15% off, ladies and gentlemen. And how do you get that 15% off? That premier whole beans from Indonesia, from Africa. How are you going to do that? You go see her. How about that Peruvian beans, whole beans, fine beans, ground drip beans, or dry, how should I say that? Drip ground, fine ground, Keurig, merchandise. Use the link here, 15% off. I just put it in the chat room once again. And then if you order SSN Nation fam, you get 10% off for life with Beachfront Java. Oh yeah, Ziploc bags. It's beautiful. 1 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound, half a pound if it's ground. Espresso, fine ground. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she has it all, and some merch and teas coming at the end of the year. But get your 10% off, because if you order right now, get your 15% off. Well, it automatically puts you into the 10% off for the lifetime. Show some love, starting at $19.99 for the ground coffee. Generally $23 to $27, $28 for the premium blend whole bean coffee. Did I mention Africa? That's right, African beans. Did I mention Peruvian? Did I mention Honduran? Did I mention other Central America, Indonesia beans? Yes, premium beans. You got to go show some love, ladies and gentlemen. She's our very own. All right. She's provided us with lots of great information over the years. She has helped out people greatly. So why can't we help her? There's no excuse for it, ladies and gentlemen. Go show some love. Just one bag will do you. That's how it starts. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Radel Cabezas. Eric, I've heard rumors that at the beach, an owner has 60 days after they notify you the unit is ready to sign, or you may lose your unit. We don't want to sign until all is done. Yeah, that's exactly right. And what is this, 60 days? Not 90. Yeah, that's the thing right there. That's what I'm saying. It's a forcible scenario, which is not in your best interest. That's what I don't understand. And they're going to do it. They're going to enforce it, unfortunately. And here we go again. What are you supposed to do in this case, right? If they start doing this, because that is true. In most of the contracts, it says you have up to 2 months to get funding. I mean, that's what they say. It's true. There are repercussions that they're going to have to give you back money, but they generally get to take 20, 25% of it that you put down. And quite frankly, if it does come up to that, I mean, let's call it what it is. And if they do pull some crazy stunt like that, and they do actually have to give you back, I think it was 25%, let's say at the beach. I don't know if that's a fact, but let's say they have to give back 25%. The only bad news is that 25% could be gone. But the other news is the remaining amount, you can just go buy something else. That's all I'm going to say. If you still want to get something. So I just don't like how it's all going to play out with their situations. All right, Chili Davis, you must have business, real estate, or assets. Otherwise, life becomes American nightmare. Exactly, Chili Davis. Very well said. That's the way I look at it. That's the way a lot of people are going to be looking at it here shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great conversation tonight, because the American dream and the American nightmare, you are about to be in it one way or another. Either you've made plans for the American dream, or you're not making plans and you're going to be in the American nightmare, because there's one thing for sure. The numbers do not lie. And once again, you know what? I'm going to show this on the screen once again, just so in case we have some new people who came in, that you understand the dire situation here. The wealth distribution is so far off the charts. This is not a misquote, a mistype, or anything. This is exactly what's going on in the United States. This is actually going on around the world. I would not be surprised if these same type of numbers go from country to country. The top 10% of households own 76% of all wealth in the United States. The top 10%. While the bottom 50% of households own just 1% of all the wealth. Can you imagine the bottom 175 million Americans owning as much as 35 million Americans in wealth? Or not even as much. That's crazy. So what this appears to look like is the top 10% owns 76 times more wealth is what it looks like. But it's the equivalent of 175 million people. This is crazy. This is crazy. If you don't think this is a problem, you don't understand economics and math. Because if I'm in the top 10% and I own 76% of the wealth, and the wealth goes up 10%, my 10% is 7.6% of the wealth. Your 10% is only a tenth of 1%. So you tell me, are you going to be in the 7.6% club versus your 0.10? That is so minute that the 7.6 is worth trillions of dollars. That 0.1 is worth 100 million. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. This is crazy. The difference. And that difference allows me to buy up everything, which is what's happening right now, where JP Morgan, BlackRock, and all those guys said, you know what? We'll just buy up all the homes too, and we'll just run them out. That's what they're thinking. They're going, why? Because we can. It's going to be crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be very, very bad. So it's no longer the top 10% own 70%. Now it's 76%. And do you also know that 3 billionaires also own more than 50% of the American people as well? Okay. 3. That's it. Has that much wealth. 3. That's how crazy this is. You're going to be in for a long road. This is not sustainable. This is not sustainable under any circumstance. This type of discrepancy. So either you have to beat them, which you're not, or you're going to have to join them, which you should. So when they buy real estate, multifamilies, when they're sitting there buying stocks, they're sitting there investing in companies, they're sitting there investing in assets that pay them, that's where you need to be. Like I've been preaching for 5 years. Get your assets, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody is coming to save you. All right. So we have to work together. Support our entrepreneurs here. Right. All right. Well, we're going to make this a short one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you're thinking. And we're going to shorten this out. So if you have something to say it now. But smash that like button and let me know what you're thinking. And subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm talking about tonight. And please join us on Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. because that's when we're going to have another live stream. But only members with the icon, like a Raydel Cabezas, a Professor Auntie Val, will be the only ones that can be in the chat room. Everybody else, you can only watch and listen. Everyone else can be in the chat room with the icon on Wednesday night. Then Friday nights at 9:10 p.m., it's open to everybody. And oh, by the way, we're going to probably have someone on, which is probably going to be Nestor, because we wanted to talk about another project. Oh, Juanillo Hills. I'll just let you know. It's in Cap Cana, so we'll go with a little more luxury, a little more upscale, because prices are starting to escalate. If you're going to spend 200, 300, 400,000, then you might as well find a lot of different projects in that price range. Not everybody loves Larimar. Not everybody loves the beach. Not everybody loves Cana Rock. Not everybody loves Vista Cana. There's something for everybody. Some people say, I want to live in Cap Cana because that's where the celebrities live. Okay. Some people say, I want to live in Cap Cana because they have the 5-star hotels, the world famous beaches and all this. Okay. Some people say, forget that. I'll live at Macau Hills because Macau Hills is still undeveloped and I can buy over there for $150,000, $200,000 or less and get a villa. And I'm right up the street from Macau where they have surfing events. And they're building 5-star hotels over there now. So the property value will probably go up. So those are the things that people think about. And there's reasons why somebody buys in one area or another. There's no right or wrong. As long as you buy, though, and you get a place that has amenities, then you cross off my checklist. After that, congratulations. You're going to win. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Auntie Val says, all right, much love, sir. And that is because Mo Better said, Auntie Val, I just ordered mine. Mo Better showing some love for Professor Auntie Val in the SSN Nation. Thank you so much, Mo Better. Appreciate you also holding it down for the entrepreneurs. And this time it's Professor Auntie Val and family making their business thrive and go. So any support that way is greatly appreciated. So we love that. Mo Better doing his thing. All right, everybody, do your thing. Get your 15% off. The link has been in the chat room. It's not down below in the description box. It's in the chat room. And you cannot put in a promo code. It automatically populates when you check out that 15% off. All right, let's see what he ordered. He got one of the new ones, it looks like. I ordered the Cinnamon Kiss. That's one of the new ones over the last week or so. But just an FYI, you need a name for the fellas, Auntie Val. Blondes have more fun. Mama, Cinnamon Kisses. Come on, Auntie Val. How about Mo Better Coffee? That's funny. That's why we had to get the campfire brew, man. That's Raydell Cabezas. He says, Eric, thanks for all you do. We appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you too, man. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. And thank you for the kind words. I'm glad, you know, that you hung in there with the beach. I'm glad everybody should hang in if you feel that you need to hang in. But here's one man that he has something that could possibly be off the charts. He bought this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his numbers, $308,000. He got a penthouse unit, I believe. Maybe 320. I don't really care what that number is. But the beach is selling a penthouse unit right now for $700,000. That just gives you an idea how crazy this is. In their present condition, they're selling it. I don't know if somebody could have bought it. I think it might be fully furnished. I'm not sure, but somebody could have bought it. And if somebody buys it, that's what we want. We want somebody to buy that unit, and we want somebody to buy the $551,000 ground floor unit at the Horizon, because that opens the floodgates for crazy at that point. So those are the two units we really want somebody to buy. One is pre-construction at Larimar at the Horizon. That unit's special because it has like a 2,000 square foot terrace area. It's insane. Wrap-around pool, swim-up pool wraps around on 3 sides. It's insane. So that is a special unit. It's still for sale. Nobody's bought it because it's not the right price yet. But that unit is going to be worth $1 million 2 years from now. Let's call it what it is. It's going to be worth over $1 million. I mean, not 2 million, 1 million. It's going to be worth over $1 million 2 years from now. It's going to be crazy. All right. Auntie Val, can I order in Canada? Raydell Cabezas, I believe so, man. I don't see why that would be a problem, but you're going to have to pay for the shipping. But you still get your 15% off. Very interesting. You have a point. Yes, he does have a point there. Mo Better. That's what we love. You got to have it, put in that advice. That's all we can do, right? If you say, give people feedback. Owners want feedback. They don't mind feedback. They get a chance to think about it and then say, hey, that might be a good idea. Let's try it. Or no, I'm going in a different direction. Lots of love. Supreme Court, more like Republic Party. Exactly. That's what it is. Pain and suffering. Handmaiden's Tale. Okay, I won't get into it tonight. I'm already banned by the YouTube streets for going off into this. Mo Better says, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let me know if you guys saw. I know some of you saw my latest series that I was doing with Larimar because their prices are going up. I showed some prices in yesterday's video. I'm going to be dropping another video. This next one's going to be based on Horizon. And yes, I've been taking excerpts from when Danny Malky and when Gwen the realtor was on. And I've been taking excerpts from that live stream and putting them into the video. So some people who don't know anything about the live stream, because they're not actually together with YouTube, they separate them. So I put in excerpts so they can hear from the developers' own people what is going on there. So I put in some excerpts. So the next excerpt is going to be the one where he says it's the gem of Larimar. It's going to be the place. Horizon 1 and Horizon 2 are going to be very, very special. So it's going to go down, because whenever somebody's talking like that, that means they're going to add some amenities in Horizon 1 or Horizon 2. That's not going to be amenities in all the other, the first towers in Prime or Paradise Towers. So just know that's going to happen. So if you get in on those, the price is right. The price is right no matter where you get in, quite frankly. All right, let's see what she says about Canada. Radel Cabezas, yes, but the shipping could be expensive. You would be my first international order. I'll see what I can do. Professor Auntie Val, they have priority shipping to Canada. It's not that expensive from the United States Post Office. Just giving you heads up, especially depending on how you package it. In that package, it shouldn't be a problem. So don't worry. It's not really that expensive to Canada. And actually, they even have other things in Canada now, too. They even have first class, just so you know. But the problem with first class is when it gets there. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, it could be a while. But just check it out. It's reasonable. I mean, it might cost, it's kind of reasonable. Just go check it out with USPS. All right? Just letting you know. Mo Better. The celebrities will be coming to Larimar too. Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. They're going to be hanging out at Cap Cana. They're going to be basically, let's just say what it is. Known people are going to be hanging out all over. They're going to be hanging out at Vista Cana. They're going to be hanging out at the Hard Rock. They're going to be hanging out at Larimar. They're going to be hanging out at Cap Cana. In my mind, that's the 4 places. And also Caso de Campo. They'll be down in La Romana. So there's going to be, in this whole Eastern corridor, there's going to be celebrities. And you are definitely right. Larimar has 5-star hotels. And one of the hotels is going to have bungalows over water. So generally, those are not going to be cheap. And generally, celebrities will probably stay there along with, ordinary citizens, OCs. But the fact of the matter is, Larimar is going to be world famous. So I think there's a huge advantage if they're going to take like 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years to build this boardwalk. But nonetheless, when they get this boardwalk first half or first quarter of it built, that's going to send shockwaves around the world. When people start seeing this and they start realizing these are beach clubs, there's levels, there's shops, there's stores, there's restaurants, and all this right down here in this section. And there's seating areas and there's water sports you can do. And I mean, people are going to go, wait a minute. And you're going to add on another, you're going to have like 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometers in like 3-4 years. And then all of a sudden, as soon as it gets up to like half a kilometer, people are going to freak out, because there's no place in the world that has this that I can find. Maybe somebody can find it for me. There's no place. Venice Beach, that's not even a half mile. All right. What do they have? All they have is they have the workout. They have the basketball courts. They added the skate park there now. Then they have stores. That's only like freaking 100 yards. Not even a kilometer. So you can imagine having that type of thing, except on Venice Beach, all you have is the Pacific Ocean. You don't have pools. You don't have beach clubs. You don't have little bars and restaurants and all this going on, even though you do have restaurants at Venice Beach. But all I'm saying is it's not surrounded by pools and bars in the water and all this stuff. That's not happening. That's a whole nother event. That is awesome. And I can't find or think of any place that's even like this that would have even attempt to make 1 kilometer, let alone 3 kilometers of this. This is going to be insane. And maybe somebody else in the world has built one, but I've never seen it. Ecuador is the closest thing, but all they have is like 100-yard pools. But that's it. There's not like restaurant, bars, And whoever knows what, because in those retail spaces, I was thinking about this today. I sent the guys something today, just so you guys know. There's a lot of things not happening in some of these projects. We go to Primavera. Primavera 2 is supposed to have a game room. Nobody even talks about game rooms. When we go over to Vista Cana and we start talking about Riviera Castano, they have a game room, foosball, pool table, ping pong. Beautiful. I sent the guys today at Larimar and I said, you know what? I said, hold on. You guys have thought of everything except you haven't mentioned where are the pool tables? Where's the ping pong tables? Where's the event center? You're going to have 20, 30,000 people sitting here. You should have 3 or 4 of these little spots where you have the pool tables, right? But let's just say for the sake of argument, they don't have a game room. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Remember those little lease spaces that they're going to rent out by the beach clubs? I think somebody should have pool tables, ping pong, foosball, and whatever other little events you want to have in this space, along with TV, sports bar, and all this stuff. Why wouldn't you? I'm just saying. It seems like there's going to be enough of something for everybody. And so, once again, these are the type of things that changes everything, just these little nuances. Because when people stay at the Ridge Tahoe, nobody really wants to stay at the Ridge. It's not by the beach, not by the Lake Tahoe, right? So what happens? I start telling them, I say, okay, look, you want to stay over there by Lake Tahoe Vacation Resort? Yeah, they got an indoor-outdoor pool. They have a game room. Well, not really. It's just a pool table. They have a little deli. But if you want to stay up at the beach, they have at the Ridge, they have a shuttle that can take you down to the beach. But see, at the Ridge, you have your own basketball court, tennis courts, racquetball courts, spa, a gym. I'm just like locker rooms with lockers, restaurant, delis, pool table, and then you still have an activity center that has a movie theater and some more pool table, ping pong, games, video arcades, and another pool. And another pool, indoor-outdoor pool there. So you can stay there with your kids, or you can stay down at the beach where there's nothing. And you can always take a shuttle down. And the price is the same. And then people say, oh, hell yeah, we'll stay up at the Ridge. We don't mind. I'm like, I thought so. I mean, that's where I stay when I go. And we used to have my daughters because that only makes sense. I could bring my daughters can bring their friends. Hey, we got to lock off units. It's all love. So that makes your life a lot easier. That's why I'm a big advocate of having these extra amenities, because that changes how people vacation. Because if you can get to wherever you want to get to, then who really cares where you are? So if I say I'm at Larimar, or I say I'm at Vista Cana, I say I'm at the beach, and the guys tell me, hey, Eric, we have a shuttle that leaves every hour that goes to the beach. And when you're at the beach, a shuttle comes and picks you up every hour to bring you back. I'm just like, okay, then I don't need to stay at the beach, because all this amenities I have at my back door, I'd rather stay there. I can always go down to the beach. And then so other people will say, I want to stay at the beach. I don't really care about those amenities. I'm staying at the beach. I can walk to a restaurant or bar or whatever. I'm good. So it's everybody has a different vacation choice. That's the beauty of vacations. Not everybody wants to spend $2,000 per night. Some people say, I'm not going to spend less than $99 a night because I think they're garbage places if they cost less than that. Nobody is wrong. That's just how they're going to spend their hard-earned money. So I want people to have choices, and that's why I always say location, 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 amenities, amenities, amenities. All right, let's go. He's like, the celebrities we coming. And then Mo Better says, oh, he's like, I'm relentless. We ready for part 3 and part 4 videos for Larimar E. Part 3 is coming out tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Horizon View. And I'm going to see about part 4, which are going to be on the lots, the golfs and the lots. That's right. At Larimar, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, they're selling the first 25 lots that are going to be by the golf course. Yes. And it's even better. The first lots that are sold are going to have their golf club membership included. Can you believe that? Now, some are going to say the value. Okay, they're talking about a minimal value, $5,000, $7,500 golf membership. That's what they're thinking right now. Let's just put it this way. Once they build it, and once they have people living there, and if they make this place the golf course, which was another one of my things that I sent over, I said, look, if you're going to make a golf course, and you're going to surround it with villas, then make a freaking damn golf course. Make it PGA rated. I'm like, because then you'll be able to get events there from the other tours, like the old Nike tour, right? Or the smaller tours, the FedEx Cup and things like that. They'll come play at your PGA rated course. But if you just make a regular, okay, it's a nice course. It's only 90 acres, not 120 acres like it should be, or 140 acres like a PGA Tour course should be, then it's just a municipal course and you have a club. No, you want the pros to come play there and the pros to buy a home there. That's going to be over $1 million in value. You see what I'm saying? That's what you want. So why build a course that's just going to be like a municipal course? No, you want to build a course. So add on a few more acres if you can find them, if you can buy them, get yourself another 20 to 50 acres. So then that way you can build a course that actually has over 130, 140 acres total. And that gets you enough acreage to create this PGA rated course. So that's what's going to be in number 4. I'm not going to put that part in there, but number 4 is going to be about the golf villas. And of course, while I'm making these videos, we start talking about some of the advantages or possible disadvantages, right? So if you want to feed an ecosystem, then feed an ecosystem. If you want to have 25,000 people in a location like at Vista Cana, like at Larimar is going to have, like potentially Cap Cana is going to have, then feed your ecosystem. Why have people leave? If I have 25, 30,000 people living in my neighborhood and they all live in this resort lifestyle area, why wouldn't I have Bad Bunny come to my event center? I'm sure 8,000 to 10,000 people, not only from Larimar would come, but when you throw in the people that live in Punta Cana, I think we're going to get 10,000 people. If we have 20 to 25,000 people living at Larimar, plus you have a college university there, please, this is a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you have a 7,500, 10,000 seat arena so you can have Bad Bunny come and clean up, or Beyonce for that matter come? I mean, and clean up. Well, take your pick, whoever you want to have come, right? Taylor Swift, whatever. Clean up. Seriously. That's just something that's sitting there waiting to happen that nobody's taken advantage of yet, because I don't think there's a 10,000 seat arena in Punta Cana at all. And that brings in the biggest events. The Cirque du Soleil's will even stay there. They won't need a tent. I mean, they'll come now. You know, I mean, the biggest orchestras, the biggest everything can now come and perform. And do you not think they wouldn't come to the Dominican Republic? Seriously? And then you tell them, hey, you guys, this is your playground. When you come, you're staying at Larimar. I mean, like, you have 5-star hotels. You have everything right there. What are you thinking? All I'm saying is we got to prod these guys a little bit, man. We got to get these guys right, because if they start thinking properly, they're going to be like, wait a minute, he's right. Wait, we're going to have superstars coming here. And we have the place for the superstars to stay. 5-star hotels, bungalows over water. They can stay here. They don't have to go anywhere else. We can put them up. We got penthouse units up here that we can rent to them. Well, we'll give them for free in their rider, but still, we give them, they can stay in the penthouse units. I mean, you have the units, you have the places, the villas are going to be out there on the golf course, for Christ's sakes. You're putting in all the trappings. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I guess this goes down for one more story. So I'm building my house in Clear Lake. And at the time, they had a music venue in Clear Lake. And it was on the water. It's beautiful. And they used to have old school acts come in there. And they would have 5,000 to 10,000 people for 2 or 3 days. And Clear Lake started having this situation I'm talking about here. They started having people who had these, $300,000 or $400,000 homes. All of a sudden now them homes skyrocket to like $1 million. Because now those events, the superstars have nowhere to stay because it's just a small, sleepy lake community. Well, all of a sudden people had these 5,000 square foot homes, 4,500 square foot homes, 3,500 square foot homes. Now more and more bands started coming because now there was an infrastructure for these guys to not just be in this sleepy lake kind of old town. Now people were like, oh, we can stay here for a week. So we'll do 3-4 shows and get paid and stay in a nice place. We're not staying in some shack. So when I built my house, the building department said, yes, Eric, you can have, I can't remember the numbers, so you're going to have to forgive me. But I built my house with the limousine garage because now you can enter and exit without anybody seeing you. And so I got approval to run like I think it was 35 or 40 feet deep garage. It was crazy with 2 entrances. And the building guy said, man, yes, we'll let this go. And I said, yeah, you should, because I'm less than a mile from the venue. I said, so now these guys got their limos. They can pull up 2 limos in there. They can just get out, go upstairs, stay inside. Nobody even knows they're there. They were like, yes, we'll sign off on that, Eric. I said, all right, now we're talking. This is why when we talk with Larimar, they got to understand what they have an opportunity to do. If you're going to have a hotel, 5-star hotels, if you're going to have a mall, if you're going to have an outdoor shopping area, if you're going to have a casino, then what are you doing? You should have a big venue, play off of your casino, play off of the customers you have that's coming from in town or around the 30, 40 mile radius, and play off of the people that live there. You'll easily have 5,000 to 10,000 people for any event that you want to have when there's somebody world famous coming to the DR. Because how many islands can get world famous people there with a normal situation? Yeah, you can get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 a year. But how about every week getting a superstar there? Because you have the venue now. Superstars sometimes don't take that 3,000 seat, 5,000 seat venue. Let's call it what it is. But you want the Latin Music Awards? Come on. Then you should have the venue, right? Come on. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. That's all I got to say tonight. Make sure you make your American dream come true, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're an American nightmare right now, don't worry about it. Just keep trying. Don't give up. Just remember, the millionaires, they on average fail 17 times. 17 times. That's a lot before they became millionaires. So that just tells you don't give up, but you learn from every time you don't make that American dream happen. But don't worry. You can make it happen. Just tweak it. Have to be humble. Have to listen to other people. Listen to advice sometimes. Maybe your way is not the right way. Maybe a little tweak here or there makes the difference. So you have to be open to ideas. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and that's why we have to keep talking about this American dream and American nightmare, because it can go either way. especially with the way things are in the world today. You could lose your job. Next thing you know, you can't find a job for 6 months, a year. And the next thing you know, you have financial situation that's going to be very bad. And then on the other hand, you might be able to light a fire and make something work after you do your first venture or your second venture. So, but you have to try. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I love you very much. I appreciate your support over all these years, but make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.